So the other day we had talked about when is the best time to deal with our sin, and the answer is right now. There's never a better time. And good morning, welcome this morning. I hope it's not a too heavy theme for you this morning, but so how do we deal with sin then? And there is a great picture in 2 Corinthians 7:11. Okay, it's how the Corinthians dealt with certain problem, and in this situation it was a particularly gross type of fornication that they sort of put up with in the church, and they put up with it because I think, well, maybe they were careless. That's one thing, one reason why we put up with our sin, but also maybe out of sentimental reasons. That's another one, usually, or many times. In this case, it was a person in the church who was living in fornication, and they were sentimental about it, maybe, and they loved the person too much, and they didn't want to, do this, and then this could also happen with us. I have a sin in my life, and I'm sort of sentimental with it. Oh, it's my little sin, and like this sin kind of defines me, and something dumb like that, and it can happen that we are sticking to it like that. We are so we can be so thick, really. It's possible. But 2 Corinthians 7:11 explains. Paul says how they actually ended up dealing with it. He says, "For behold, the selfsame thing that you sorrowed after a godly sort, what carefulness it wrought in you. Yes, what clearing of yourself. Yes, what indignation. Yes, what fear. Yes, what vehement desire. Yes, what zeal. Yes, what revenge. In all things you have approved yourselves to be clear in this matter." So actually the Corinthians, this is really beautiful because okay, so repenting of my sin or leaving my sin, can sound very theological or religious, or just this is why we don't believe in like some kind of atoning for the sin, because, well, for one reason, Jesus paid for it, so we don't have to, but that's not the way we deal with our sin. But also because when I pay for something, it is not so much, it's not about emotion, it's about a transaction. It's not about a hard reality. It's about, paying the price of sorts. So, but here we see the Corinthians, how they dealt with this situation. And this is a great lesson for us to have when we deal with our sin, that God had pointed out and said, look at this. This is ugly, this is against me, and you have to deal with it. This is a great pattern to deal with. So number one, zeal, okay? An element of hatred against the thing. That wasn't number one, sorry. But carefulness was the first one, sorry. So carefulness, the desire to deal with it thoroughly. Not like okay, whatever, but carefulness. Okay, that thing, I'm gonna whack it, every part of it, carefulness. Indignation, an anger, in realizing that I have been trapped by the devil, like maybe again, like for the 10,000th time with this thing. I'm so, I'm just mad at it. It's not an unaffectionate event. It's not a nonchalant thing like this Christian thing, but there is carefulness, there's indignation, and it says fear. Then seeing, I see all that could be lost through this thing, and I say in my heart, God, you have shown me through your eyes. I see what I could be losing through this thing, and I fear that I don't want to lose that. Vehement desire. I want the purity and the reality of God again. There is like a hunger, there is like a desire, and then there is zeal. Okay, here comes zeal, like an element of hatred against the thing, and not putting it off till tomorrow or the next moment. I'm just gonna deal with it now, and I just want to mention revenge. I make it personal. This sin, I hate this, I have an anger against this. So this is wonderful because I think it's important to realize that repenting of our sin is about our love relationship with the Father, with the Lord, with the Holy Spirit. As we love more and more and more, we become more and more jealous against sin that sin could take away from us. So that's, like dealing with sin in our lives. Well, this is how we do it. Read 2 Corinthians 7:11. It's going to encourage you, and I'm sure you will have many thoughts about it. God bless your day in the Lord.